This is a business incubator, so we're going to talk a little bit about business. I am on a mission to make sure every single person who works in a startup gets what they deserve out of that startup. All the grunts that do the grunt work need to get what they deserve. So I want to talk about equity splits and how they should work in your startup company. See, most people have a problem with how they make equity splits, how they do equity splits. They use fixed equity splits. They go in 50-50, they go in 60-40, they go in 80-20, maybe 3 people go in 30-30-30. Every single one of these causes problems, because what if something changes in your company? What if you lose interest and you want to leave the company? What if someone puts in some cash? What if you have a jerk you're working with? What if somebody decides to quit the company? What happens if you decide to quit the company? All kinds of things change in a startup company, and a fixed equity split will not accommodate those changes, so they all lead to problems. So what we need is a system that is perfectly fair. A system that rewards participants for contributions they make to the company, provides ongoing motivation to continue contributing, accommodates changes, and is flexible in the face of rapid change like all startups go through. The answer is called a dynamic equity split. A dynamic equity split, as its name implies, changes to accommodate the changes in your business. It's a perfectly fair system for doing this thing. I'll tell you how this works right now. You put work into your company. You do the grunt work for a company because you expect sometime in the future you'll get what you deserve. And what you deserve is exactly in proportion to what you put into the company, no more and no less. Everybody can agree to the fact that you should get what you deserve out of a company, no more and no less. If you get more, you're in trouble, otherwise you don't. Your contribution is 50%, you should get 50%. If you contribute 10%, you should get 10% out of your company. Most people wind up getting screwed by their partners or screwed by their investors because they don't get this basic fact. So here's how it works. It's called a Grunt Fund. There's 3 steps. 1, assign a leader you can trust. Don't work with people you don't trust. 2, assign a theoretical, pretend, made-up value to the various inputs divided by each participant. And 3rd, divide up your contributions by the total contributions, and that will determine exactly, not sort of exactly, but exactly what you deserve out of your startup company. So first, get a startup leader you can trust. A startup leader in a Grunt Fund is usually the CEO or the manager. They hold all the equity. Next, you assign a theoretical value: ideas, time, money, equipment, facilities, supplies, petty cash, intellectual property, all the different kinds of things you can contribute to your startup company. Each person provides different things. So maybe a junior developer provides some time. The founder provides ideas, equipment, and time. And maybe a rich uncle invests money, important relationships to turn into customers, and things like that. So all you do to determine the total base value is you add up all the contributions that all of the grunts made, and that determines your theoretical base value. It's a pretend value. It's not your actual value because your company actually has no value today. It's a pretend value. It's what you use to calculate the equity. So each person's share is the junior developer gets what they put in, divided by the total. The founder gets what they put in, divided by the total. And the rich uncle gets what he put in, divided by the total. This gives you an exact percentage of how much people deserve in your company. Here's an example of how it would play out. Let's say the grunt's time was worth about $2,000. Grunt number 2, the founder, put about $4,000 in time, $15,000 in equipment, $7,000 worth of intellectual property. Grunt number 3 put $60,000 worth of time. The pie would look something like this. It's very logical that the junior developer would have 2%, while the rich uncle that put all the cash and relationships in would have 69%. This is a perfectly logical explanation of how much people should get. Most people try to predict in advance how much people should get. Now, the other problem happens when somebody leaves. There are 2 reasons someone can leave. They can leave for good reason or no good reason. They can get fired or they can resign. Each circumstance under which someone leaves a company should be treated differently based on the Grunt Fund. So, for instance, if you're fired for good reason because you suck, or if you resign for no good reason because you just decided to leave the company in the lurch, you don't deserve that much. You don't deserve to keep the equity you earned in many cases. You should bear the burden of leaving from that company. On the other hand, if you are fired for no good reason, we just don't need you anymore. Or if you resign for a good reason, you move the company to Seattle, my family's here, that's a good reason to leave. The company should bear the burden of that departure. The company should let you keep your equity and keep the stock you've earned in certain situations. So now what we have is a perfectly fair system. It rewards participants for contributions they make to the company, provides ongoing motivation to continue, accommodates changes, and is very flexible in the face of rapid change. This is called a Grunt Fund. It's a dynamic equity split, and it's the perfect way to divide equity in a startup company. You will eventually outgrow a Grunt Fund. You will become too big for it. You'll get real investment with traditional investment tools, and you should go for it. But in the early days of your company, you will definitely run into problems if you use a fixed equity split. And all the people that are in companies today probably use one of those. Thank you very much for your time.